have a second speaker. I'm going to introduce the second speaker now, if I may. Thank you so much, Abid. Here we have Dr. Shafawati. Shafawati Ahmad Sani. She is a senior lecturer and graduate studies coordinator for Faculty of Languages and Communication at UniSZA. UniSZA is in Terengganu, yes. Her latest work is on how questions and answers are used to interview vulnerable and child witnesses. Her latest publication is a co-author of Socio-Pragmatic Aspects of Legal Questioning, Police Interviews, Prosecutorial Discourse, and Trial Discourse, and forthcoming. These are in the publication of Investigating Power and Control, Uses of Invariant Tag Questions in Malaysian Criminal Trials. Without further ado, over to you, Shafa.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. All right. Aisha, could you please share my presentation, please? Thank you.
Okay. Give me a moment.
Okay. While Aisha is doing that, maybe I would like to remind all of you to check the chat space, because Dr. Aisha has just shared the link to get your certificate. So you might want to use this time to fill in the form too. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Aisha. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, everyone. Okay, my name is Nur Shafawati binti Ahmad Sani, and I'm from Faculty of Languages and Communication, UniSZA. Okay, if Habib, she started to embrace corpus linguistic for almost 10 years, then I think I'm at that infant stage where I start to know about corpus linguistic when in 2014, in the process of completing my PhD. So as for my research interest is on more on the forensic linguistic part, where I'm looking at how language and law from corpus linguistic perspective, and how actually language impact the way lawyers use, in terms of the courtroom questionings, how it helps them to extract information and also discredit witnesses. Okay, all right. So as for today's presentation, I'm going to look at on how Malaysian barristers sketch their verbal aggression, and it's going to be it's a corpus-driven analysis on Malaysian criminal procedure corpus. All right. So previous research on courtroom discourse indicates that there is linguistic manipulation by participants, be it barristers or witnesses, to serve manifold legal pragmatic functions such as apologizing, complaining, challenging, to show surprise and disbelief, and ascribing blame and others. Okay. All right, and one of the resources that legal participants in the courtroom may use to serve their purposes and goals is the choice of pronouns. Okay, if just now Abid is looking at pronouns, and in my case, I'm going to show how pronouns are manipulated by lawyers and defense barristers in achieving their goals in examination in chief, cross examinations, and also in re-examination process. So the purpose of this presentation is to highlight barristers' verbal aggression in polite context that serve to make utterances more subtly coercive. All right. Okay. So I think it is good to briefly talk about Malaysian legal systems, which is a plural legal systems. It consists of common law, Sharia law, customary traditions, and The rules of general criminal procedure in Malaysia are found primarily in the Criminal Procedure Code. Okay, I'm not going to talk long, in depth about this. All right, maybe we can go to the next slide, please, Aisha. All right, thank you. Okay, so Heffer describes courtroom discourse as a complex genre that is made up of a number of key events, as can be seen in the generic structure of speech events in courtroom. So we have the in the opening process or in the opening address, the defendants or witnesses are called by court officer, usher, and oath swearing is constructed to sit so that only the truth is speak in the court. Okay, and then could you please enter, push the enter button, because yeah, all right, thank you so much. All right, so this is where my main data is extracted from. All right, the first stage in adducing of evidence by the witness is the examination in chief, where this is the examinations of the witness by the party calling him and involves leading evidence to establish the prosecution case. And then all witnesses after examination in chief are liable to be subjected to cross-examinations by the opposing party. Its purpose is to object irrelevant, prejudicial, and inadmissible evidence, test credibility of prosecution witnesses, or even to expose discrepancies or inconsistencies in the prosecution case. Whereas the re-examination is directed to the explanations of matters raised in cross-examination, and its purpose is generally to repair the damage, if any, from cross-examinations. And after that, the judge will give his sentence accordingly, whether a prima facie case is established, that is, credible evidence is accepted, or else dismiss the case against the accused. Next, please. All right, so for my PhD project, I built two specialized corpus, which is the shipment corpus for the pilot study and the MAYCRIM Corpus for the main study. And the shipment corpus is a compilation of 58-day criminal trials of Dr. Shipman that commenced in October 1999 until January 2009 at Preston Crown Court. Okay, and the size of the shipment corpus is 500K words of questions, 500,000 and answers, right? While the MAYCRIM is a specialized corpus of 16 spoken text that is official courtroom transcriptions that is collected from Malaysia Court Registrar. The size of the corpus is only 350,000 plus words due to the difficulties to get access to the data, as the nature of this study deals with sensitive data. However, I think MAYCRIM is perfect as a specialized corpus to answer my research questions. And in addition, the size is also convenient to investigate the statistical value of types of questions in examinations and cross-examinations activities. In addition, MAYCRIM reflects the real situations of Malaysian courtroom questioning, as it consists of both English and Malay languages. And once I got the raw data, they were labeled and converted into TXT files so that they will be ready for the software. And I have used Wordsmith tools for this research. Can we go to the next slide? Right. Next, please. Thank you. All right, so for my study, I've used corpus-based and corpus-driven approaches to study a specific set of research questions deemed useful to investigate trends in MAYCRIM. Corpus-driven approach views the text in a more inductive way, where the corpus itself is the data and the patterns in it are noted as a way of expressing regularities and exceptions in language. For example, lexical bundles are used as a method to understand how lexical items are used by lawyers to construct and establish facts in the courtroom. Okay, and I'm going to show examples about how I actually look at pronouns you and kamu. And corpus-based approach is used on the shipment and MAYCRIM specialized data to explore questioning strategies in the courtroom. Okay, can we move on to the next slide, please? Okay, so I'm not sure whether you can see this. It's a little bit small, but basically the English is for the English data, whereas for the Malay is the Malay data, all right? So what I found from a corpus-driven approach and on my MAYCRIM is that the quantitative analysis indicates that pronouns you or kamu occurred as the most frequent words in the list, okay? From the English data set, the pronoun you is listed in 23rd in the frequency list of 3064 types, and kamu is listed as the 12th in the frequency list of 880 types. Note that, okay, for the reference corpus that I have used is Singaporean English spoken corpus extracted from the ICE website. As regard for Malay reference corpus, the texts were compiled with the help of David Wolf, one of the corpus experts based in UK. So he helped me to compile the Malay reference corpus, which is a monolingual corpus, which was derived from Malaysian Wikipedia. It was harvested from the web and then compiled into a word list. At that time, that's the only available corpus that I can use as a reference corpus for English and for my Malay data set. All right, moving on to the next slide. Okay, so from the word list, now we can narrow down by looking at the collocation and word clusters such as you, kamu. For in this example, the lexical bundles show patterns of possible questions that describe types of questions commonly used in courtroom questioning. As we can see, we have the WH questions, the yes/no questions, or even the can you questions. Okay, all right. Moving on to the next slide, please. I'm going to show you the concordance lines, all right? To fully understand the lexical bundle that I have shown in the last slide, it is useful to fully look this in a concordance analysis so that we can determine patterns of phrases associated with pronouns you, kamu. And the concordance lines were extracted through do you agree with me string that form yes/no questions in cross examinations. And as you can see, we have 25 occurrences out of 1,197 tokens of do you agree with me in cross examinations activities. Okay, next. Okay, all right. So in this slides, as a result, I found that the distributions of questions formed with pronouns you or kamu in MAYCRIM using a corpus-driven approach, to better understand how these questions are used, we have to look at the pragmatic strategies, and this is where corpus-based approach would come in very handy. Okay, so from the corpus-driven, you look at the pronouns you, kamu, and you can actually extract types of questions. For example, the blue graph is representing the direct or examination in chief, whereas the cross examinations is representing by the red bars. Okay, we can see that declarative and fact questions are mostly used by barristers or by prosecutors in cross examinations, because from the data we can see that the number is quite high compared to the one that they've used in the examination in chief. Okay, for example, for declarative we have 961 tokens compared to 434 tokens, right? And then tag questions. Okay, I'm going to explain in terms of the pragmatics, the legal pragmatics types of questions, because I'm not sure whether you are familiar with, but during direct examinations or examination in chief, prosecutors or defense barristers or lawyers, they are not allowed to use leading questions, and leading questions can be categorized as declarative and tag questions because you are putting answers into witnesses' mouth. So that's why it is a no-no for lawyers or even prosecutors to use leading questions in examination in chief, whereas it can be used in cross-examination for the sake of checking to get confirmation, to check whether the information given in the examination is true, or even to discredit, as a strategy by lawyers to discredit prosecution witnesses, right? For example. Okay, Can we go more? Can we go to the next slide? All right. So I'm going to focus on tag questions. All right. This is where corpus space comes. Okay. Extractions of the variant and invariant tags were conducted using wordsmith tools. All right. And prior to this stage, I have come up with a set of search words such as is it, isn't it, do they, right, which is the Malay counterpart is the benar, correct or betul, agree or setuju, partikel tak, okay, which is not, do you agree, adakah anda bersetuju, do you know, adakah anda tahu, that reflects the formal properties of variant and invariant tag questions. So to further narrow down the analysis on what types of patterns of tag questions that we have in MAYCRIM. And interestingly, what I found that I think because it has something to do with our first language, okay, influence of the first language, the way we Malaysians built the tag questions is considered as invariant one compared to variant tag questions such as isn't it, don't you, or do they, okay. Whereas in our case, we have do you agree with me, right? Okay, so that is called invariant tag questions, and I have written a paper on this yet to be published, inshallah, very, very soon. So maybe if you want to know more about this, you can read my paper on that. Okay, now I'm going to show you the examples. Okay, this is, I think, where for my kind of study, it is very important to look at the discourse analysis types as well. All right, for example, if you look at this is an example taken from drug trafficking case number 1. Okay, this is an interview between defense lawyer and prosecution witness, which is an investigations officer that was responsible in conducting communication analysis on the accused mobile phone. All right. So while I'm explaining, you can read through the data. Okay. So in cross-examinations, the questioner has some knowledge about what he or she says, no matter how little knowledge is. Thus, that question is used to elicit of confirmation. From this example, the counsel elicits of confirmation from the witnesses based on the evidence presented earlier in the direct examination. This can be seen from question 1 to question 6, okay? The use of correct, betul, just to get information from the witnesses, all right? Then, moving on to question number 7 and question number 8, which is the red highlight sentence or interactions. After confirming the information needed, we can see that in question 7, the defense lawyers use WH questions, okay? Which device is this? Where the IO, which is the investigation officer, gave the answer of H3 device. The defense counsel then used the yes/no questions to again confirm with the IO whether he knows the owner, which can be seen in question number 9, okay? So despite the analysis conducted by the investigations officer, which is the prosecution witness here, and the report prepared by him was used as an evidence against the accused, from a discourse pragmatic perspective, we can say that the lawyer tried to cast doubt on the evidence so that it cannot be used against the accused. What we can see is that confirmatory tag questions are used by lawyers to get the witness to agree with them. Lawyers has this linguistically manipulated sequence of questions after getting confirmation from witnesses, then cornered with coerced questionings. All right, I'm going to share another examples to make things clearer. Aisha, can we go to, yeah, this is the confirmatory tag, and this is the pragmatic strategies that I found. Next, please. Okay, now, in the MAYCRIM corpus, tag questions, just now we look at the how tag questions are actually used to confirm information, right? But tag questions are also used by the counsels to emphasize their stance or to challenge answers provided by witnesses. This is a confrontational strategies of lawyers when cross-examine opposite witnesses, as can be seen in this example. This is taken from a cheating case. The defense lawyer used attitudinal tag questions to discredit witnesses' credibility in front of the court, thus questioning his standard of procedure in conducting the identification parade for one cheating case. In the beginning, the witnesses is told off by the lawyer not to substantiate the evidence. Then he further challenged the witnesses' credibility by asking who gave the order to Inspector Farhad to conduct the ID parade. Okay. He further pushed by asking when the order was made and when was the ID parade conducted, because he know that the IO had not recorded the date and time. Okay, so he actually, the defense lawyers found loopholes or there's a, in terms of their standard of procedure of conducting the identification parade, the lawyers know that there's something is lacking there. So he's using that and, to discredit the witnesses in front of the judge. Okay, now moving on to the next slide, please. Okay, it is from the same case. In here, we can see that the attitudinal tag questions of Ta, okay, was used by the defense lawyers with a declarative statement preceded the tag, all right? It is observed that the lawyer is challenging the truthfulness of evidence presented by the IO because he knows that there was no record made regarding this parade. Then he asserts that it is important to have a record and witnesses for the ID parade because the evidence can be manipulated by parties who have their interest on that case. Okay, he then cornered the IO or the prosecution witness with coercive yes/no questions, which can be found in question number 8. To close the discussions, he concluded that the evidence from Inspector Farhad is not credible because he does not follow the SOP, standard of procedure of conducting an ID parade. So we can say that the lawyer's stand is that SOP is very important to follow, although we know in reality sometimes we don't really go by rules. All right? Okay. Next slide, please. That just now we talked about confirmatory and then attitudinal, right? Can we move on to the next one? All right, so finally, tag questions also used by the counsels to discourage the speaker from further discussions of the topic, as can be seen from this example from a drug trafficking case number 2. In question number 1, defense lawyers questions the witness by insisting that the accused never uttered the word C and the witness had mistakenly described the situations of the raid. I think C here refers to the Mandarin word, okay, if I'm not mistaken, as matilah, dielah, okay, because I couldn't reveal much about the because it involved the sensitive data, but I think C here refers to matilah, okay, because it was like macam ditangkap secara mengejut, right? Okay, we can see that in question number 4, okay, the blue highlighted one, the defense lawyer tried to reconstruct of the situations by insisting that the accused was not shivering nor crying, and pragmatically the defense lawyers discredit the evidence given by witness and at the same time reconstruct the narrative of events given by witness to show that the accused is calm at that time, which suggests that the accused's psychological state at the time of harassment fit the characteristics of not being guilty, okay, in possession of the drug. Okay, if what I mean here is that during the examination in chief, the defense lawyers asked the IO, the investigator, saying that the accused is saying matilah, but in question number 4, the defense lawyer reconstruct the events by saying that no, actually my client is actually very calm, he's not crying nor shivering. So he tried to restructure the events and at the same time try to discredit the prosecution witnesses, which is the IO, which is the investigations officer of that time. Okay, then he further asserted that the report made by the IO is not true. The defense lawyer insisted that the discovery of the exhibits was not true so that he can disestablish the prosecution case. It can be concluded that the lawyers use preemptory text to discourage the witnesses from establishing a concrete evidence in front of the judge. And pragmatically, the lawyer tried to shut the discussions. However, the witness realized the strategy by resisting with disagreement. Okay, we can see that. Do you agree? I disagree. I disagree. Okay, so this is another interesting part if you are into corpus linguistic and forensic linguistic or courtroom discourse. You can actually look at resistance as well. How witnesses resist to answer certain types of questions. Okay, all right. Now, as a conclusion, all right. All right. So these are the pragmatic strategies. As a conclusion, all right. Okay. There are basically 5 conclusions. Aisha, maybe you want to just click and fill these 5 points that I'm going to highlight here. So it is observed that invariant tag questions are used to confirm or to emphasize the lawyer's stance and even to discourage the speaker from further discussion. And confirmatory tag questions are also used to get agreement. Okay, attitudinal tag questions help lawyers to challenge the witnesses' answers. Preemptory questions, from lawyers' point of view, is to discourage further discussion. However, from the witness' point of view, is to resist them. So this is what on the resistant part. So these questions are found to be a discursive device for lawyers to develop a narrative of events as prompts to maximize witnesses' productivity, or even to display lawyers' stance and challenge witnesses during cross-examinations. So to conclude, pronouns such as you, kamu, are expressions that personalize questions and make them specifically about the witness, constituting a face threat. Okay, since you or kamu are frequent in both examinations and cross-examination, personalization must be doing different things, because we know that lawyers' goals in the examinations and cross-examinations are 2 different things. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you so much. All right, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Shafa. That was, yeah, that is interesting, as Azima Shukriya said, really taking me some time to digest. Maybe it's just the evening mood here. But if anyone has any questions, they can unmute and ask Dr. Shafawati directly. I just have
Hi,
a...
Dr.
Go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Shafa. Yeah, interesting data that you have. Although when you were presenting, there was a bit of what do you call it? Noise just now. I couldn't make out. So there was your own MAYCRIM, and then there was another, was it Preston Corpus?
Shipment Corpus, which is from Preston Crown Court from UK.
Why is it called shipment?
Because
the name.
The Dr. Shipman. If you try to search and try to Google, you will come across with this case. He actually a general practitioner, and he killed almost 150 of his patients by injecting illegal poison in a subtle way. And he actually forged some of the documentations in order to inherit what do you call harta, right, from his patients, because he focused on orang tua yang without inheritance. Okay.
So shipment is a name of that person lah.
Yeah.
The criminal.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I thought it was shipment. You know, something to do with something to do with marines or something. Okay, and then you had to compile a monolingual reference corpus.
Yes. because the MAYCRIM Corpus consists of spoken English and Malay. So in order to do corpus-driven analysis, I couldn't use the Singaporean English reference. I have actually emailed corpus linguists in Malaysia, but unfortunately at that time the corpus is not ready yet, so I have to use the monolingual Malay corpus, which is derived from Malay Wikipedia. That's the only reliable reference corpus at that time.
Right, and you had someone compile it for you. You said.
Yeah, David Wolf, who is my supervisor's husband. And if you search for his name, he's an expert in corpus, and he actually built this software analysis. I couldn't remember. There's another software analysis that we actually used back when I did my PhD. But I'm into Wordsmith because because it's really helpful to use Wordsmith compared to his software. Yeah.
So this reference corpus, it's Malay corpus, right?
It's Malay, yeah. But for the English spoken, I've used Singaporean English spoken, which extracted from ICE website.
Right. So when you compare the keywords of Malay, but your MAYCRIM was combined. Were they combined?
Combined. But the cases, okay, I have 16 cases. Half of it was conducted in full English, okay, and another half was conducted in full Malay.
Right, but
So
when you compared it, with the reference corpus and get the keywords, right? Did you the whole of MAYCRIM, which is the English and Malay, right? Campur.
I actually separate it, so that's why just now I have like English data set and Malay data set, because if not, it will be it will conflict between the languages.
Or maybe in the process of listening to you, I thought the reference corpus was Malay plus English.
No.
Malay
It's
plus
English, Malay.
So English, Malay. Okay.
Yeah.
And how many words was the reference corpus?
350,000 plus.
Oh, not reaching even.
No, I'm sorry.
Are you sure?
Asked me about reference corpus, right?
Reference should be millions, kan?
Yes. For the reference is 1 million plus for the Malay, and the same goes for the Singaporean reference corpus as well. I'm sorry, I've got confused with my MAYCRIM corpus.
Yeah. So in a way, it's not straightforward that you can get any reference corpus out there. You might have to build another, right? Just to suit your study. Yeah. Thank you. A very good study.
I have a question on that too as well, in terms of the reference. When you talked about compiling a Malay language corpus on the web, if I'm not mistaken, if I heard that correctly, how does that differentiate? Because most of the time, if I were to look at the Malay on the web, would mostly refer to Indonesian Malay. Have you considered that?
Okay. What David informed me was that he actually find the one on the website from Malaysia rather than from Indonesia, as a way to control the data. Okay, because like you said, we came across with that question as well. When I completed my study. So, So basically, that's what we did. Yeah.
I mean, you got to admit, sadly, Indonesian Malay has more visibility on the net, and it would just make sense that it pops up. In fact, going back to Abid, in Lexbox, there is, sorry, maybe not Lightbox. It's Sketch Engine that has a Malay corpus, and that's Indonesian, unfortunately. So it's a bit sad there. It's not really Malaysian, and so maybe students or future researchers who are interested doing analysis on the Malay language, they must understand the difference between Malaysian and the Indonesian. Yep, as well as if you're talking about within Malaysia itself, you would have multiple types of Malay, and so you would want to ask the experts in that, I guess.
Just want to add a bit, Dr. Aisha. I guess looking at the challenges that Dr. Shafa has went through, I guess there's another reason, another need for the network to help each other out in terms of, hey, if you got a corpus on Malay language big enough to become a reference corpus, why don't you share it with all of us, right? So I guess, yeah. So thank you for sharing your presentation. It's a very wonderful presentation, Shafa.
That's a bit with the promo commercial bit there, asking for people to, you know, come on board. And if you do have, you know, something that you have compiled and you feel like it would be of use, please don't hesitate to go to our website. Any more questions, please, you know, you are free to ask both speakers. Abid and Shafa are here now.
I think there are some questions in the chat space, Aisha.
I think Amira's question has been answered. She actually said, thank you. You have answered my question just now. Amira is also a scholar from the Jabatan Pengajian Melayu from UITM. So maybe she could help us with that as well. Anybody else? Right, if you would be kind enough to respond to our feedback form, it's in the link here. Let me just copy and paste that again to everyone. We would like to know what you think about the session today, and if you do have any, you know, ideas or what other topics that you might be interested to do on. Please let us know by replying to this feedback form. Mimi has shared some interesting comments on the side here where people are watching Korean courtroom legal crime dramas and would relate to you, Shafa. All right, I guess if there's nothing else, Abib, do you have some last things or announcements to make? For your information, Abib is the chairperson, if you will, for the MCRN for at least this term. And so Abib may want to share a little bit of information. For those of you who are interested, this is just us introducing the Malaysian Corpus Research Network. It's also a stimulus from the 4th Malaysian Corpus Research Symposium that was held last December in UITM. And so let's hear a little bit from Abid before we go. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Siti Aisha and Shafa. Okay, I think I'm really happy to see a lot of people joining our first webinar today. It says a lot about how many people are actually interested in Malaysian corpus work and applied linguistic studies, right? So maybe I'm just a little bit about the Malaysian Corpus Research Network. As Dr. Aisha told you earlier, this is from the symposium. There are 4 symposium, I guess, 4 or 5 symposium, Malaysian Corpus Research Symposium. And from there, we have decided that, yeah, we should start this network. And there are currently, if I'm not mistaken, 11 of us as the members in the steering committee. Okay, myself included, Dr. Siti Aisha, Shafa, Dr. Adlina, and a few others. I guess for the committee, it's a good time to turn on your camera if you can. So let's just have a very short introduction. While they do that, I would like to also highly encourage all of you who are interested to become the members for Malaysian Corpus Research Network to sign up as members from the website. You can find the registration form, and don't worry, for the first term, at least for the first 2 years, 2021, 2022, there will be no membership fee, because this is something that we do on voluntary basis. So memang purely, the intention is purely because we want to do something to help the community. As you can see, there's a lot of challenges, right? To get information, to know about the current or recent publication, even for Shafa, and I think myself too, we have experienced so much difficulty in trying to build our own corpus just for as reference, right, Shafa? So that's a real struggle that if you're doing it on your own for your PhD, that's even more so. So that's why I feel this community aims to actually help all in the community. So yeah, we're actually looking for more members in the steering committee. So I'm just gonna those who have turned on their camera, I'm just going to introduce themselves, the members, because yeah, because they will actually tell you a bit about their not job scope, yeah, their what we call position and what they do for the community. Inshallah, can we please do that? So myself, I am sorry, because this is something that we've discussed. So yeah, just for this term, I am the chairperson. So basically, what I do is I try to help everyone to know their role and what we want to achieve for MCRN. And I hope I did a good job for the first webinar. But now, next is Dr. Siti Aisha. Go ahead, Dr. Siti Aisha. You might want to say your name and your role.
You did, Abid. You actually led the first webinar, so congrats to you. I would be the deputy then. I'm Aisha Johari, and well, I'm just helping out Abib here, but I'm also a big corpus linguistic enthusiast, and so it would be a very big aspiration for us to expand the network and inshallah to have this ongoing. I might like to add that there's no limit to join the MCRN. It's not English specific. You can also be from different languages, and it's also open to applied linguists. So these are people who not necessarily are doing language studies with Corpus, but you could definitely come on board. I do want to say that maybe in the lineup of presentations, we would alternate between these people. I do have Kumaran that have agreed to give a talk. So inshallah, please, watch this space. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Aisha. Next, I'm just looking at my screen now. So next to Aisha on my screen is Shafa. So Shafa.
Hi, I'm Shafa. So I'm the secretary for this term. So yeah, for the secretary, it has something to do with documentation and preparing letters, certificates, and etc. So yeah, I'm glad that I can be part of this committee, inshallah. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Shafa. And next is Dr. Adlina.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Adlina from UIA. I am Vice Secretary. I'm helping Dr. Shafa with the secretarial staff. So hope more people can join us. Right. Thank you.
Inshallah, thank you very much. Next is Dr. Afida.
Dr. Afida has to replace me on doing these webinars.
Yeah, she might want to say and maybe want to ask volunteers to help.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Dr. Afida, and I've been around meddling with corpus studies since 2001. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Which portfolio am I?
You're going to host the next webinar, right? Aren't you?
Yeah, I'm doing webinar.
So we'll be seeing Dr. Afida next month. Woo.
Okay, do give me a heads up, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Afida. So Dr. Afida is in charge of the webinar. Inshallah, for those of you who are interested to become the speakers or who wants to do some workshop on the next webinar, you can either directly contact Dr. Afida or can directly contact us, any one of the members on the steering committee. And I think, Dr. Afida, it's a good time for me to call any other volunteers to help you with your portfolio. Is that all right, Dr. Afida? Yes. Yes, please do. So we need people who are in the spirit of volunteerism. Please.
Dr. Afida, by the way, is if you don't know her already, she's from UPM. So
Yeah.
if you
Oh, I did not mention that, did I?
collaborate with UPM, that's the person you have to go
I
to.
didn't mention where I was from, did I? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Anyone join? Yeah.
Thanks. And so if you're interested to become to be part of the portfolio under Dr. Afida, please let me know or Aisha knows. Okay, next is Shamimi Turiman.
Assalamualaikum. Hello everyone. My name is Shami Triman. I'm from Akademi Pengajian Bahasa UiTM Shah Alam. I am one of the MCRN Corpus managers. We have a few of us. So we are actually we would like to invite if any of you are interested to join us as corporate manager for on behalf of MCRN. Also, if you have developed or if you own any corpora and you would like us to help you promote and share your corpus or corpora, you can be in touch. Inshallah, soon we will be adding that particular information on our MCRN website for you to be in touch and help you promote your corpora. Thank you.
Thank you, Shamimi. And now Christina.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm Christina Ong. Okay, and I'm from Universiti Tunku Abdul Rahman Kampar campus, and I'm assisting Mimi in managing Corpora for MCRN. Okay, hoping to see more contributing your self-built corpus, and then to see all of you again in the upcoming webinars. All right.
Anis, it's your turn. Maybe yeah.
Oh, hi everyone. My name is Anis and I'm from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. I'm in charge of, I'm the communication manager for MCRN, and I'm in charge of creating the logos, designing the poster for the webinar. So if you think that the poster is okay or not okay, maybe you can give feedbacks on that. And if you're interested to assist me as well, you can volunteer yourself as well. So looking forward for more interesting webinars in the future, and hopefully we can share more insightful thoughts in the future.
Thanks.
Anis, are you a student still, right?
Yes.
Are you a student still?
Yes, I'm currently doing my PhD.
Right, because some of the questions that we're getting, they are students, they feel like they're underqualified. Anis is the perfect example of how she's also part of the team. So Anis, you may want to welcome other I wouldn't say like young, because I'm also young. So anybody who feels underqualified,
Yes.
maybe feel like
Nobody is underqualified. We're all in this together. We're here to share our thoughts. Whatever that we have are good for everybody else's research, right? So
I'm also a student. I'm also still doing my PhD. Okay, so
you are a lecturer at Utah, right?
yeah, so I'm working full time and doing my PhD part time. So
Look,
yeah,
and you
myself
think 10, we should go to
okay, are the only non-PhD holders, so nobody is underqualified. All are welcome.
Cool. Thank you. So yeah, there you go. We have Christina and Anis representative for the PhD students. And yeah, if you're even if you're a master student and if you feel like you want to learn more and at the same time contribute more, why not? And for me, I actually plan for even retirees orang berpencen untuk join kita, because I do feel if I berpencen, I want to be part of something. I want to contribute to something. This is my plan. See, 37 years before pension, I've already planned this. So yeah. Now next is Dr. Ang Leng Ho. Go ahead, Leng Ho.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, my name is Ang Leng Hong. I'm from University Science Malaysia. Yeah, I'm glad to meet you all here. And yeah, I'm helping with a website information update. And for your information, Dr. Habibah, yeah, has actually created and designed the website, and I just chip in, yeah, to help with the updates. Yeah? Yeah, so if you have anything that you would like us to promote, okay, specifically with regards to corpus-related workshops or talks, yeah, you are always welcome to contact us. Yeah, yeah, we'll help to promote your workshops or your talks. Yeah, yeah. All right. So thank you.
Thank you, Leng Hong. So yeah, another thing that is we kind of aim for is for visibility of corpus researchers in Malaysia, because if you're not part of the community, I think many of you who are not part of the community, you don't know what other people are doing. So that's actually is something that is very sad, because a lot of people are doing very great things, like Dr. Shafa here, right? So yeah, yeah, please do let us know if you want to promote. Yeah. I can't see anybody else with their camera open, but I guess I can just introduce Dr. Roslina. Dr. Roslina.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't turn on my camera. I don't know what's wrong.
That's fine.
But yeah, sorry guys. So I'm Roslina Abdul Aziz from UITM Jalan Pahang. I am in charge, or I am the one of the publication managers. So I am in charge of compiling publications on CL by Malaysian researchers, as well as corpus linguistic studies on Malaysia, right? So it is ongoing, but I think Shaz would agree with me, Dr. Shazila, my partner, will agree that we might need, you know, younger tech-savvy individuals who would like to join us, yeah, as a volunteer. That would be really helpful, yeah. So you can just send me a message or type here at the chat box. We will contact you, yeah. I think that's okay, Aisha, if we can add our own volunteers under our portfolio.
Yeah, feel free, Kak Ros. I mean, yeah. It seems like based on the the chat here, there are a few interested people. So yeah, definitely. I told them to, they can go on our website. They can actually email us, because there is an email address. Just all you need to do is just email us with a perhaps heading saying that you're interested to help out, volunteer, and then you can specifically say which part of the task that you think you would be most interested in. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Aisha. That's all from me.
Thank you, Dr. Roslina. Next, Dr. Shazila.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Okay, so I'm Shazila from UITM Sri Iskandar Perak. Okay, so I'm one of the publications managers, okay, along with Dr. Roslina. So both of us, okay, will be in charge of publicizing, okay, of putting publications on the website. Okay, so we'll be collecting, okay, all over, okay, recent studies, okay, especially that will be of help, okay, when you do your own research. Therefore, okay, as Dr. Lin just said, we perhaps need more volunteers so that we can get as many publications as possible. Okay, because there are plenty, I'm very sure. Okay, perhaps they are not even published, but if you'd like to have it, okay, listed, okay, in the website, so others can also use them, can also quote them, can also cite them, that would be very helpful. All right. Okay, thank you very much for me.
Thank you, Dr. Shazila. So yeah, like Dr. Shazila's and Dr. Roslina, they shared a bit about their portfolio. Even if you find that you're international participant in this event, but you're doing something on Malaysia or Malaysian corpus or Malaysian data, yeah, feel free to contact us, because we still want to know what you're doing. And it's a great way to collaborate or build network from whatever you share with us, right? So yeah. I think that's everyone, right? I think, did I miss anyone? Alhamdulillah, thank you very much for the members sharing their portfolio and sharing about them a bit. Now, I do want to share one last bit about our advisory board. Alhamdulillah. For now, we don't have in the website yet, because we want to properly introduce them later, maybe in another event. But for now, I can safely say that we have on our board right now, I think four or five people, right? The advisory board for MCRN are Prof. Hajar Abdul Rahim from University of Science Malaysia, Professor Datuk Dr. Imran Hu Abdullah from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, Associate Professor Dr. Mazura Mastura Muhammad from UPSI, Associate Professor Umar Khair Ahmad, and Professor Dr. Arshad, right? Yeah, Professor Dr. Arshad from previously from UPM. So inshallah, we wish to expand the MCRN further and contribute further to the community with the guide and the advice from these people, from these professors and this very experienced senior in our field, inshallah. So please, join us. Inshallah, we will meet you in our next webinar. So our webinar manager will, and Aisha and myself will contact or share with you more information. Any question? Yeah, Aisha, want to say something? Any last word from anybody?
Inshallah, we're going to keep this as a monthly webinar. So if we look at the calendar, the last Friday of the month would be on the 26th. So inshallah, we will meet again on the 26th of February. Thank you very much for everyone participating today. Hope that you have benefited. And if you do have the time, or if you have not done it already, please fill or complete the feedback form. We'd love to hear from you. And until we meet again, bye-bye.